Hey, Shalom. First, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, the house of David. Let's get into this. Dog, I want to just talk about putting off the mortal. Putting off the mortal, because what? We're coming in these times where mortal flesh is not going to make it. It's not gonna make it. Look at all these things that's happening. You know, you got everything that's going on. These deportations. You got that big beautiful bill. You got these signs, these prophecies going off. The signs of prophecies going off. You know, yeah. You're going into this thing that's coming. You're going to have that immortal mindset. You know, you're going to have that. You're going to have that immortal mindset, because flesh won't make it. That mortal is just, being a mortal is being completely flesh, just being completely in the flesh, not even in the spirit. You know, you're gonna have to put off that immortal. They are gonna put off that mortal and put on the immortal. What? That spirit. That spirit. You gonna have to be. You gotta have be more spiritual. You know, think further ahead. Cause when you're immortal, what? You think further ahead. Cause some people thought process stops. Be like, well, I don't need to plan that far since I ain't gonna live that long. You know. Nah, it's time to put on that immortal mindset. You know, it's time to put on that immortal mindset. But okay, this was gonna happen in this phase. Abarazai, if I make it past this phase, this was gonna happen in this phase, in that phase, then deliverance, then after deliverance, this is gonna happen in this phase, that phase, and it's always gonna be in complete beauty. I'm gonna have this set up for my children and their children, and their children, and their children, into eons, into eons, into eons. You know? But especially for the times we're coming in, you're gonna have to put off that mortal. You're gonna have to put off that mortal, man. You know? I'm gonna get this first. This is Romans chapter 13, verse 12. Listen. Verse I'll get 11. Listen, and that knowing the time, now it is high time to wake out of sleep, for we know our salvation nearer than we believe. You know, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It is at the door. You know, especially with everything that's going on. If you can't see it, that means you're blinded by the flesh. You're in love with being mortal. You know, you're in love with being mortal. You know? It's nearer than we believe, you know? Verse 12, listen, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. You know? Let me continue. The armor of light is the truth. This is truth. Let us walk honestly in the day, not in rioting and in drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envy, but put ye on Yahweh Shai, and make not provisions for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. You know? We gotta put on righteousness. We gotta put on Yahweh Shai. You know, so we won't be clothed as a mortal, be in this weak mortal state. Because the mortal mindset, the mortal state is not going to make it. You know? It's not going to make it. You know? Cause it's all about that mindset. It's all it's all about that mindset, you know? Listen to this. This is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22. Listen. That ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man that is going to the conversation going to what? Manner of life. It's just talking about the manner of life, you know, which is, you know, it's not actually talking about, you know, conversations and stuff like that, you know, but it's talking about like your way of living, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, that ye may put on the new man, which after Yahweh Shem Shai is created in righteousness and true holiness. You see, it begins with that mind. It begins with that mind, because the flesh is only concerned with earthly things. The flesh is only concerned with earthly things, you know. You know. Listen. This is Colossians chapter 3, verse 9. Listen. Lie not to one another, saying that ye have put off the old man with his deeds, and have put on the new man. The new man. So how do we become this new man? What is the new man? Listen. Which is renewed in knowledge. Renewed in knowledge. What? You seek the old path. You start to learn of Yahweh Shemel Shai. You start to learn what pleases him and what displeases him. You know? After the image of him that created him. You know? You know? So you start to begin to reform yourself into who? The immortal power. You start to reform yourself to the immortal power. It starts in the mind first. You know? Let me get that scripture I've been quoting. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 14, verse 14. Chapter 14, verse 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of men. Put off the weak nature. You hear that? Put off the weak nature. Ooh, let's get that too. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19, verse 14. For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain. But with these prophecies, they're certain. They're certain to happen. You believe on them. You put your mind on them. You put your thoughts on immortal things. You know. These prophecies are certain. These prophecies will happen. You know. Hey, so, you know, put off the mortal, man. Put off the mortal. With that, I hope you was edified. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the house of David. Until next time, Yahweh willing, Shalom.